All right, welcome back. This is section 7.1, day 2, ratios and proportions. All right, so if you notice, we're going to start with a little algebraic practice. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 problems, and hopefully you guys are looking at these now and saying, oh, that looks familiar. I see a fraction equal to a fraction, or a ratio equal to a ratio. And when I see this, I know I have a great strategy for solving these. This is where we cross multiply. All right, so I'm going to do one together, then I'm going to let you guys try out the rest and check your answers. All right, so let's do number 1. When we see this, remember we are going to multiply our numerator and we're going to go across and multiply times our other denominator. There we go. That's why we call it cross multiplication. 2 times 12 equals, see if I can get a thinner pen here for you guys. This will be better. All right, 2 times 12 equals, and now we're going to go this way, 7 times. And remember, we want to put that in parentheses because we're multiplying 7 times that whole denominator. 7 times n plus 3. All right, so let's go ahead and solve this. 2 times 12 is 24 equals, distribute that 7n plus 21. All right, and let's go ahead and continue with our equations. This isn't a big deal, right? Subtract 21 from both sides. Minus 21 minus 21. 24 minus 21 is 3 equals 7n. And we're going to divide by 7 now. So let me get another color here so you guys can see these steps. Divide by 7, divide by 7. Oh, 3 and 7. We can't divide them and get a whole number. Don't freak out. Our answer is a fraction. That's okay. So here's our answer is n equals 3/7. That's it. We're done. All right. I want you guys to go ahead and pause it, solve 3, 2, 3, and 4, and check your answers. All right. Go ahead and pause it now. Work those out. I'm going to get the answers up here for a second. All right. Number 2, our solution, you should have gotten n equals 8/7. Number 3, we should have gotten n equals -8/5. And number 4, we should have gotten n equals 1. All right, for worked out solutions, please go ahead and check. You can find those worked out solutions to check all of your steps, or go ahead and ask your teacher for help on these. All right, let's continue now with our next ones. This is what we're all about, okay? The algebraic skills you guys got to get down, but in geometry, we're setting up these application problems, okay? So we started with these yesterday. The trick of these is all the same. When we're given a ratio, whether it's an extended ratio or with two figures, okay, with multiple parts, we think about each of those parts as being multiplied times the same thing. In this case, we're going to use x. So let's draw a triangle here for number 5. The ratio of the measures of the sides of the triangle. Here's a triangle, okay? Let's go ahead and draw it. We don't need that, so let's go ahead and draw our triangle. All right, so with our triangle here now, let's label these things. We have our different ratios, okay? We have 3. Hold on a sec. All right, let's try this again. So we got our triangle there. Now we have 3 sides of our triangle. Our ratio is 3 to 7 to 5. Doesn't matter which side's which, but remember, we don't know the side length is 3. We know it's 3 times some value, and then 7 times some value. So we just stick an x with these. 3x, 7x, and 5x. Okay, it doesn't matter which side you choose to be which one. But now we know the perimeter is 240. So all we're thinking is, how do I use this information to set up an equation? Okay, to find the perimeter, we add up every side. Doesn't matter what shape it is. In this case, a triangle, we add up all the sides of the triangle. So again, doesn't matter what order we go in. 3x plus 7x plus 5x. That's our perimeter, and our perimeter is equal to 240. Once we get that set up, now all we have to do is solve. So go ahead and solve this thing for x. Pause it, take a second, solve for x. Okay, we do want to see your work here, so make sure you're doing this on your own. And we get x equals 16. All right, now x equals 16, that's not our answer. Remember, our answer is our sides, and our sides are 3 times x, and 7 times x, and 5 times x. So we got to plug those in. All right, so 3 times x, we know x is 16. 3 times 16 7 times 16. Use your calculator here if you need to. 5 times 16. And this gives us our answers. We have now 48. And we're given the perimeter in feet, so we're going to label these with feet. 112 feet and 80 feet. And if we add those up, again, we should get 240. So make sure you take a second to check those. All right. The next one, very similar. We've done one like this before, so I want you guys to go ahead and do this one on your own. Okay. Pause it. I'm going to draw a picture for you. Then you're going to do it on your own. So, triangle. Boom. Now we're talking about angles. Same exact idea, but we're talking about angles. And what do we always know about the angles of a triangle? Again, the ratio is 7x, 5x, 8x. Doesn't matter where you put those. Now, what we always know about the angles of a triangle is that they add up to 180. So now we add them up, set them equal to 180. Make sure you're really clear on what information you're given. When you're working with angles, we always know we can set it up and equal to 180. All right, finish solving that one on your own. Plug them back in. Check your answers. Go ahead and pause it. Do that right now. All right, so you should have gotten x equals 16. Sorry, that was our previous one. We should have gotten x equals 9. And then we plug it back in and we get our angles. 7 times 9, 5 times 9. These ones you should know, so hopefully you don't need a calculator. And 8 times 9. And we get 63 degrees. Remember, we're talking about angles now. 45 degrees and 72 degrees. All right, let's continue. All right, this one's a little different now. We're talking about area. You guys got to think about how to find area. Okay, area is length times width. And let's get rid of those. All right, so again, let's draw a picture. Now we got a rectangle. We know that area is length times width. We know our ratio is 3 to 8. Again, doesn't matter which side it is. So if one side's 3, that's 3x. The other side's 8x. Now the difference is here, I'm multiplying these together. So when I'm multiplying together, we got to make sure we remember the difference between multiplying variables and adding variables. So 3x times 8x equals our area, which is 96. We can multiply the 3 and the 8. We can multiply the x's, and that gives us x squared. Make sure you have that x squared there. All right, very important here. Okay, now we can go ahead and solve, and this is not a big deal. Divide by 24, divide by 24. But now we're left with x squared equals 96 over 24. Take a second, see if you can think about how we get rid of that x squared now. X squared, how do we get rid of that x squared? To undo that square, all we have to do is square root, square root. Now, since we are working with lengths in geometry, we don't have to worry about this being a negative 2. We know it can only be a positive 2, so x equals 2. But again, x is not our answer. We need the side lengths, right? So we're not done. The length and the width, that's what we need. So we have 3 times x, right, which is 6. All right, so that's our length, equals 2 times 3 is 6, and our width, which equals 8 times 2, which is 16. And we're given units here is centimeters, so let's label those with centimeters. All right, last one here, guys. And again, we have perimeter, so this one is all you. Take a second, I'm going to pause it, and I want you to work this out on your own, and then we'll check our answers. All right, I'm not giving you all the work for this one. You should have drawn a picture of a rectangle. We label those sides 3x, 7x. We're finding perimeter, so we add all of them together. Once you wrote that equation, you should have gotten x equal to 11, plugged it back in. That gave us 77 inches and 33 inches. All right, nice work, guys.